guys, welcome to the HVAC Diaries. This episode of the HVAC Diaries is brought to you by New Calgon. How are you guys? How are you guys this week? Did you have a good one? Did you have a productive week? Did you get lots done? Did you have a nice relaxing week? I've got HVAC adventures for you today. This is one of my, I think this is going to be the third last vlog before I go back to school. So I've got 2 more after this, and then I'll be done for like 3 months. I'll be back next year, like in February. So let's jump right into HVAC adventures. We haven't worked on a water source heat pump unit in quite some time. I haven't vlogged about it in a few weeks now. So we got to work on one of those. And this particular one was popping fuses. So it popped the fuse. We tried again, popped a second fuse, and then right after that, we're like, no more fuses. We don't want to pop fuses. We've got this little Supco resettable fuse. You put it exactly where the fuse goes and it just pops, and then you can just reset it and it just keeps popping, and you can reset it and you can just keep going instead of throwing away a bunch of fuses. So we were troubleshooting that a little bit. We tested a couple of things. The transformer was definitely dead. It was blown. So we replaced that. And you guys, in order to replace the transformer, you can take everything apart except one little screw. It's hidden behind the frame of the unit. So you have to basically disassemble the little like electrical cabinet and take it off of the unit so you can get to one single little screw. It's so stupid.
That's the one.
This is our little stash of parts we pulled out a while ago. Sweet.
Yeah.
So the new transformer is in. I'm just putting that little electrical cabinet back on now. Just a little bit of a struggle. Still popping fuses. Snap. So my transformer's still fine.
Your transformer, yeah, that transformer is good.
Alright, so then the last piece is the board. We tested the thermostat. The thermostat was okay.
Baby.
So we finally traced the fault to a faulty control board. That's what was popping our fuses. So I replaced the control board. And usually when I do that, when I replace any control board, I'll usually leave the old one on, get the new one on at the same time, and then take wire for wire and just put from the old one to the new one, old one to the new one. Alright, so that is free. Watching this video back now, I don't recall what was making that noise behind me. Was it a fan motor that was making that noise? It's just chugging along. And if you get stuck anytime, there's always a wiring diagram that you can refer to. I actually got one of them a little bit confused. So refer to the wiring diagram and then we're good to go. So once we replaced the control board, we did another set of tests and we were not popping that fuse anymore. So all good. The resettable fuse has been pulled out, and this little fuse will go back in now. But I can't do it with one hand. You said you saw evidence?
No, just this guy here. Looks like it got melted. See, it's almost pulling off of it.
Yeah, kind of. So tiny. We responded to a no heat call at a place with the absolute worst roof access. First of all, the roof access ladder is this little rickety wooden ladder that doesn't quite reach the top. So you basically have to climb it and then stand on the cross beams of the building in order to get the roof hatch out. There's no springs on the hatch, so you basically have to like lift this whole thing, this lid, with your head or your hands, because you can't, there's no way to stand, and so there's no way to brace yourself. So basically I push it with my head, try to get it over, and you got to lift it up and over. Stupid ass roof hatch again. However, you guys, there was a massive spider up there. And I don't know why I decided to go up first. I was like, oh, I got this. I can open up the hatch. Freaking massive spider. So I'm like, I see this thing. I scurry down. I'm like, Trev, there's a spider. He's like, go and do it. I'm like, no, there's a freaking massive spider there. It's massive. I am terrified of spiders. I've always been terrified of spiders. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. He's like, Jess, you have to man up. Go. So with all of my courage, you guys, like, I was just like, okay, little pep talk. Okay, just try to ignore the spider for 1 second and just power through it. Just power through it. Open the thing and go out just in like one move. The thing is heavy. The lid is heavy. So I go up there again, do this like power move, push the roof hatch out. The spider drops. I'm like, ah! Trevor's like, where is it? We couldn't see it anywhere. I don't know. Maybe it like caught itself on a web on its way down or something. Anyway, I almost didn't go on that roof. We almost didn't get that job done. So we're on the roof, and you'll never believe what the problem was. Back in summertime, there was a massive hornet's nest on the inside of the panel. And a little tiny bit of that hornet's nest, I guess, broke off the nest, and it got sucked into the tube in the combustion blower motor. So it was blocking that tube. So the unit kept tripping out because of that blockage. Wait, can you like explain that quickly and show me that again quickly, what you just did? You just cleared that little blockage from the...
Inside there,
Yeah.
if you move over,
Mm-hmm.
the wasp nest was inside, and it was actually clogging the entire, similar to the shit that's inside the pipe here.
No way, that's crazy.
It just dunked up.
Yeah.
So watch. It may fire up now. But did you hear the click?
No, let's hear it. Yes, I can hear that. Reset this guy.
Fire up?
No, it's taking a while. No, it was a fail. Never mind, it was not a fail. Ah, there we go. I drop kicked that hornet's nest off the roof. Well, I tried off the roof, but I didn't make it. I'm gonna drop kick this thing off the roof. That was a job. We were called to a sofa factory where they have a unit, actually 2 unit heaters in their sewing area. They've got 2 rows of ladies who are just sewing at sewing machines, just sewing. And the thing about working at that location or that place is that those ladies stare at me. Whenever I walk through there, I don't know, they ignored my dad and my brother for some reason, but they just like, and I feel so judged when I'm there. I don't know, like, are they looking at me like a woman doesn't usually do this kind of job? What is she doing? Is that the kind of look? Or I don't know, but I just feel like I'm on display when I work there. Anyway, so their problem was their unit heater has a massive crack in the heat exchanger. So big. It's...
Good. That one there should come out. This one should come out. That big one should come in here, and it should be plugged straight into that pipe.
Anyway, so he's asked us to replace that unit heater, but there are some complications. I'm not going to get into it here or now. There are some complications. So we are proposing to replace the unit heater with an actual standing furnace, like a floor standing furnace, which I think will be much better for them as a long-term solution. It's a complicated story. Maybe I'll get into it one day, but not today. Sorry. We did a pretty big refrigeration job this week. We had to replace a liquid line solenoid valve on a walk-in cooler. So this solenoid valve just stopped working, so it never pumped the system down. So the system, it was a walk-in cooler, the system just kept running and running and running. And so the guy called us and he's like, I'm sitting at like -2 degrees Celsius. That's colder than it's ever been. And something doesn't seem right. So we investigated, and sure enough, the liquid line solenoid valve was busted. And unfortunately, sometimes in these solenoid valves, you can replace just like the guts of the valve and not actually the valve itself, because that's a pretty major job. But unfortunately, this wasn't the case. We actually brought 2 different types of solenoid valves. We brought a Danfoss and a Sporlan. Even though the existing one was a Danfoss, the Danfoss's body is completely different. So we ended up actually changing it for a Sporlan, a solenoid valve.
I'm using Sporlan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna...
So Trev did all the brazing work. He took out the old solenoid valve, he brazed in the new one, and then I got to wire up the little solenoid coil because we replaced that as well. So yeah, little teamwork job.
Hey, if I sing, is that copyright or no?
I think it is actually. No,
Because there's no music playing, technically.
Yeah. You can keep singing.
No, I'm fine. Yeah. Somebody say you feel it anybody.
We're just lining everything up, preparing for the brazing.
I'll get that there. I'm hoping to just do that.
Oh yeah, you got plenty of room there. Just applying some heat blocking putty.
I kept the cap on. Put the cap back on.
Oh, that's smart.
Was it though?
Beautiful.
Tomorrow morning, and then go and grab. Actually, maybe not. Yeah.
Now, just get the gun down, you come with me, we can go upstairs.
Yep.
Line it up.
I just heard it.
But you see, that's already got, it's already pushing up.
Pushing up.
Or that should be seated in.
Yeah, well, this spring here should push that down.
Yeah, well, if this diaphragm is bulged out stronger than the spring, it doesn't matter how hard that pushes, it's not going to close it down, which is, I think, exactly what happened.
But the seal is actually...
Hey, so I remember a few weeks ago, was it about 3 weeks ago now? My dad and I went to 3 different Domino's Pizzas locations and we cleaned their very, very dirty evaporator coils. Well, we actually got a call back to one of them because we didn't realize we removed a lot of fluff and debris there that day. Like we swept it away and took it away. But we didn't realize that some of the dust and the air had got trapped inside the condensate drain. And so that was completely clogged up. And so what was happening was through the defrost, it would thaw out and then the water would have nowhere to go. So it would just be sitting in the drain pan on the bottom, and then the system would fire up again and everything would start cooling and the water sitting in that drain pan froze. And then it would happen over and over and over again until the ice, it was pretty thick. And they noticed it. They were like, you cleaned the coil, but now it's freezing up. Like, what? However, our problem was twofold because that was over the Halloween weekend. And so they prepared extra for that weekend, actually like a few days ahead of that. And so they stacked their little trays, their proofing trays, I think they're called, where the dough proofs in the fridge. Anyway, so they stacked these trays right up to the evaporator, like right up there. There was like a little gap there between where the coil was and where their trays were. So there was no airflow there. So it was a twofold situation where it was causing no airflow and the drain was clogged. Anyway, a little bit of a challenge to get the drain unclogged just because of where the system is on top of the cooler room, underneath the drop ceiling. Anyway, we got it done. Trevor volunteered to go in there this time.
Little agitator.
Okay, now we can get to the drain pan, which is dry. Oh yeah, look at that little, it looks like there's fluff in that clog, in that,
Are you gonna pass me the
drain
stick?
thing. Yes, sorry. Stick is right here. Oh, big time. Nice. Nice, we're flowing now. We also used a little bit of this vinyl tubing and blew through it. And in case that didn't work, we had our gallo gun from New Calgon as well, but we didn't end up using it. Ta-da! Oh my goodness.
Only now we might have a bit of a flood up here. But it is what it is. So we had two scenarios.
In other news, I was invited to speak at a college on Vancouver Island. It's called Camosun College. They are a refrigeration college, actually. And they have a group of ladies going through their skilled trades program. And basically what they do is they expose these ladies to a variety of different skilled trades to see if they like them or not. And so I was invited to speak to them about HVAC and refrigeration specifically, what I like about my job, what I dislike about it. They had a ton of questions. I was there for almost a full hour. I didn't actually go over to the island. I was on Zoom. And this is my second time doing this for this class. They did it again last year. So it's just really cool to be able to speak to these ladies in a very, very authentic, casual way. Like, I had nothing prepared. I just spoke to them from the heart. And again, their questions were so good. And yeah, I hope I made a little bit of an impact for them. And I'll also include an event that I went to on Saturday in this week's vlog instead of pushing it to next week's vlog. I was invited to speak at it's called BCIT, it's British Columbia's Institute of Technology, and that's where they have like a lot of skilled trades. I don't personally go to BCIT, I go to a school called RTI, Refrigeration Training Institute. But anyway, so they have this group, is it an organization? It's a entity, I guess you would call it, and it's called Connect Her Hub, and it's a place, like an actual physical place where tradeswomen can go and just have like a feeling of community and camaraderie and like a safe place to hang out and network and just support each other. So I spoke on a panel with there were 3 of us in total, so 2 other ladies who were influencers. And we spoke about our journeys on social media and through skilled trades and all of that. And it was just such a wonderful experience being in a room with so many tradeswomen. It was very, very cool. And because I was just like so excited to be there and everything, I forgot to take any videos for you on YouTube. So I'll just throw in a few that I threw on my Instagram because that's what we have. It's my birthday at the end of the month. Well, later in the month. And you guys will not believe what my husband surprised me with just so randomly. He walked through the door the other day. He's like, "Oh, your birthday present arrived a little early. Check this out." And you guys wonder why my ego is so inflated. I blame him. Alright guys, well that's all the HVAC adventures I have for you this week on the HVAC Diaries HVAC vlog. There are 2 more to go after this before school, so I already miss you guys. But I got 2 more to get through, so let's enjoy them. Have a good one. Bye guys! So for this week's HVAC, why can I hear somebody speaking? Is that somebody's phone in their car? That's so loud. Oh my goodness. Okay. We've been working no, not say that. Okay. And we actually brought 2 different types of service. All right, no more.